before we start the video off, cheers! Alright, before we start the video off, thank you for being here. We made 300 subscribers on YouTube. Honestly, blew me out the ballpark when I seen that because I didn't really have expectations when I made this channel. I kind of just wanted to vibe and just post and talk to you guys, teach you some things, and kind of have a little cold. So if I sound a little weird, give me a little break, alright? My nose is still kind of congested and it's like bothering me in the sinuses. And I've been drinking water, I've been drinking tea. Yeah, so if I sound like a little backed up or I take a pause to talk, it's basically just because my nose is stuffy. So today's video, as you can see the title, is going to be how to film yourself. Kind of self-explanatory. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that basically tell you how to film yourself. You could just get your phone, you could just get a camera, press record. Now it is that simple, but it's really not as simple as you think because my journey with filming and just learning how to work a camera and just playing around with stuff like that, there's so many different techniques and methods that you can use. So I'm just going to show you some things that I've learned. Basically some things that I've learned on the way that allowed me to build up my creativity, push myself a little bit more, think outside the box when everybody's kind of doing the same thing. It's really hard to be original, but you always can pull inspiration from other people and basically just try to make everything your own. So that's what we're going to get into today. Whenever you're trying to figure out how to do something, the first thing that you have to do is start. You can't just wake up tomorrow and you're a doctor, you're going to start being a doctor. Like, you have to kind of work up to those things. So if you say you want to start filming yourself or you want to basically get into creating, whether it comes to like videos or photos, where do you start? You have to start with a camera. I know everybody might not have money, but you don't really need a lot of money to be able to do those things. You need a phone, a friend's phone, a camera. You can borrow a camera. You can go to the library and see if they have any iPads, depending on where you live. Want to record, it's very easy to just pick up a camera and press record. But what do you want to record? Do you want to do lifestyle vlogs? Do you want to do content for social media? Do you want to make cinematic short films? Do you want to make long films? Do you want to do interviews? Do you want to be like a behind the scenes person where you follow people around on like film sets or music videos and you just record behind the scenes? There's a lot of things that you do. But the first thing that you really need to do is a camera. You need to get a camera. It doesn't have to always be expensive, and something I've learned on the way is that a lot of people think you need an expensive camera to start. I went and saved up a lot of money, right? And I bought an expensive camera. I think it was like a Fuji camera, and it was I don't know if it was like $400 to $500. At that time, that was very expensive for me because I wasn't making that much money. And I went and bought the camera, and I got the camera in person, and it was bad. I was so angry. I was like, yo, I spent all this money on this stuff, and I don't like it. Because in my head, I just needed a good camera. I watched a bunch of videos. They said this was the best camera in the market. I went and got that camera, and then I didn't like it. You don't have to get the most expensive thing in order to make cool creative stuff. Actually, I found that getting stuff that isn't expensive and using whatever you have around you makes the most creative stuff that you can get. Because when you have no resources, you have to figure it out. A lot of resources that are expensive, it doesn't push you to think outside the box because now you feel safe. You got everything you needed, let's go. But there's a talent in people that don't have much because they know how to take whatever they got and make the best of it. And I bought a used camera from Marketplace because I didn't have a lot of money. I saved up whatever I could and I just got on it and I was like, you know what, I really want to create. I spent 7 months watching YouTube videos about what I should buy. 7 months. Camera right here. This is my baby. See how beautiful this is? I got this camera, again, this was used, $400. I got this camera and I just needed something to record. I honestly just had visions in my head and all these ideas and I just wanted to put them out. Obviously, if you're buying used, just make sure the item is well, look at the reviews, look at the person selling and ask, hey, like, can you turn on the camera and like record it working? Be very questionable when you're buying used stuff because you don't want to get something that doesn't work and then you can't return it because it was a in-person exchange and you can't get your money back on that. But I bought this used and I'm telling you this was one of the best decisions I've had because the amount of creative work that I've taken on this, the amount of creative projects I've done on this, on used products, because a lot of the times it's not stuff that doesn't work. If you're a creator, if you're trying to get into creating, this is my favorite part of creating. I love editing. Editing is so dope because it just gives you a perspective to make the reality that you want. Of course, when I was in like high school and middle school, I took media classes and I took just tech and just learned how to do things from school. How I learned how to edit was practicing on my own. I watch videos after videos just like this and just practice. And it sounds so corny, and I know, again, if you're watching YouTube, you don't want to keep hearing somebody tell you that. But you really have to understand, like, you won't really get it until you learn. I would Google stuff and I didn't understand what I was watching, and I just had to practice. That's where I was talking about earlier. Like, you just have to start working on the video, start getting your first camera, start getting a phone if you can't afford a camera, and then record on the phone. But 3 tips that you can use when you're editing to help you grow. So the first thing is always make sure the footage is clear. Please. I'm trying to save you. Please make sure the footage is clear, bro. Check the camera. Do not record at all if you do not know if it's clear. Check it. Wave your hand. Make sure that the tracking is on. Make sure that you see that somebody is visible, that you can see a face. You know how many times I've sat and watched a video after 50 minutes of recording and realized, wait a minute, this is blurry. Check and see if it's clear. That is the #1 thing in editing for me. I don't know about anybody else. Please make sure the video is clear. Second tip that I would give you is effects. Make sure that you are using good effects. I know that it's very self-explanatory. Effects obviously meaning you're gonna put something on the editing that's gonna make it like pop or glow or like flash. Don't put too much pressure on the idea of I need to make this visual so good with effects. You don't want to have too much effects. Find 4, 5, 6, 10, 3, whatever number that you want of effects, and work with those. You don't have to master everything right away. You just got to figure out how to record. Once you figure out how to record, find 3 effects that you love. It could be a grain, it could be like a flash, it could be a swoosh where the picture just like switches real quick. Find an effect that you really can make your video pop. Because once you have, so if you wanted to record a video about you being at home on your laptop for like a brand or just something random, have your camera set up, make sure it's clear, add your effects, and then it'll look like this. Don't have any effects but a little flashy or whatever, somebody's gonna watch it and somebody's gonna think it's the coolest thing they've ever seen. I have to feel like, man, I didn't come up with this type of editing style, so I'm not gonna use it. Now if you're copying them word from word, or like editing, every edit is similar to this one person, obviously people are gonna be like, bro, that's not your work. But if you just use one thing out of theirs and you make it your own, it'll work out the way. When I first started editing, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I had no idea how to edit. I did not know what to do. I've seen people do things and I was like, yo, I want to do the same thing, but how am I going to do this? I don't have enough money to take a class. There were really no classes online that show you how to edit. I would ask photographers that I followed. They barely answered me. So you know what I did? I went right to YouTube and I just got on my YouTube and I just watched it. I watched video after video, just hoping that something could give me a little boost in how to edit. And it helped, but what helped me was just practicing. I recorded on my own. I started practicing like vlogs, and I'm still learning every day because I'm not a pro. I'm just someone who learned how to do something really well. But I really started just understanding like, oh, this is not something you can teach. This is not something that you can just do this and this is the result. You have to literally figure it out, because right now you can edit a video and what you had in mind is not how it came out on camera. It is nowhere near what you recorded. I recorded so many things and I'm like, oh, that's not what it was supposed to look like. Okay, cool. So now in the video, I have to tweak and edit and clip and add and music and this. And I'm like, damn, I don't really want to do all of that because it's not really going to work. But it did work. You just have to learn how to take your time. You got to learn how to pace yourself. You got to learn how to just figure different things out. I love using apps on my phone. I know a lot of people will tell you to get on the computer, get a MacBook, get an HP, and start editing on there. If you are not a pro, if you are not somebody who knows what they're doing, don't do it. Don't pay for any of the expensive apps, because if you don't know how to edit on your phone, why would you sit there and download DaVinci and now you're sitting here. Now, if you want to do that, I'm not trying to tell you don't do it, but just go and learn. But don't expect to just get on the app and then a day later you're mastering it, because people every day who are pros still learn and still try new things and still edit certain ways. Hi, how did you get over here? So for the lighting example, right? Whenever you're recording for a video or a vlog, the lighting is important because it could add more visual effects, meaning it could make the video more intense or it can make it a little brighter. It doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't make the tone of what I'm trying to go for. But if I lower it right there, you can always add effects at the end, but if you give yourself a base lighting and you give yourself good lighting, whether it's a shadow or the light's coming from this way, it'll make the video more interesting. I feel like a teacher teaching you guys how to do something. All right, so we're gonna take a break because the camera battery is dying. Just like I said, have your camera batteries charged. But once the camera battery is charged up, we're gonna conclude the video and that's gonna be it. Because the camera's playing games with us, but that's pretty much it for the end of the video. I thank you for being here. I appreciate you if you came back to watch another video. If you're new here, nice to meet you. Subscribe, join the family, hang out, we do fun things. Thank you for being here. That's all that I got. Catch you in the next video.